Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. I am Lindsay, and I'm super excited to practice with you today. I would like just a towel, any other props that you want, but something to put over your eyes during Shavasana or perhaps underneath your neck or something. Okay, so we're just going to use this in a couple different ways today. And you'll just set it to one side of your mat. Let's come down into a seat. And for those of us who perhaps a little tighter through our hips, you can sit up on a block, a bolster, anything that you can find in your house. I like that in your house you've got couch cushions and things. So feel free to prop yourself up so that you don't feel as though you're bowing back so much. Okay? You really want to set yourself up for success. And what we'll do is we'll create this long diamond shape here. Just a nice long diamond shape, almost like a marquee diamond, the kind that my dad gave my mom back in the 1970s, that old style. And then once you've got your just tall stoic seat, I'll invite you to round in and forward. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic, but the spine actually rounds and rainbows. Your chin falls closer into your neck. You don't even have to change the breath to just feel its presence. That subtle support and undercurrent that is always there is our anchor. Finding a little that water quality like breath. Almost like the tide that crashes onto the beach and then refolds back into the ocean, into itself. Perhaps that soothing nature of the breath lets you dive down into gravity, just being heavy and trusting of this space. Feeling the ground beneath you, the very ground that every other human and living thing is tethered to. Maybe even feeling supported by the fact that you might be practicing alone or with just a couple other people at your home, but there are millions and millions and millions of people all around the world who do yoga. Some of them right now with you, noticing their breath, celebrating and taking care of themselves. So we not only dive into this microcosm of how we feel today, but really see ourselves as part of a bigger picture. How can we take care of that microcosm, our body, our soul, our spirit? So we can be a better part of the macrocosm, the community of the world, the earth. Now that you're settled, grounded, breathing, present, ask yourself what your deepest intention is for practicing yoga. That's your intention. That's what's going to make this meaningful and motivating. Breathing it in, giving it back. Breathe in, come all the way back up. Hands can walk up your legs. As you exhale, let's take an easy pose. Breathe in cows. Exhale cats. Notice that you can actually rock back onto the backside of your pelvis and sacrum. Again, inhaling, almost like there's a hook on your sternum, and exhaling. Let's do that again. See how it feels on that inhale. And then create space for the exhale. Breathe in, arms high. Exhale, grind down with your palms behind you. And on your inhale, either just lift your chest, or if you feel like it, you can also lift your hips. No right or wrong. Just find something that serves you here. We'll take a couple of breaths to counteract our forward fold. Shoulders might pinch together, your arm bones might pinch together for stability. I like a little bit of grippiness in my fingertips. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's walk forward toward table pose. On your inhale, just bring your knees underneath your pelvis. And as you exhale, tuck your toes and spread your fingers. Let's take a few breaths now to find some barrel rolls or other movement through our spine. So not just cat-cows, but massaging in this 360-degree plane, side to side, back to front. There's no right or wrong. And the great thing is no one can see you right now. I can't even see you. So if it feels awkward, awesome. Who cares? Let it flow. Switching directions. A lot of times we are hectic, we're frantic, we've been trying to get stuff done all day, right? So slow your roll. You have the ability to cool the pace down and to really get microscopic. What's happening here? How does it feel when things glide along each other? Are they gliding at all? If not, maybe I drink more water or move more often. Stillness is yours. And just take your left arm nice and high. And let's rainbow and backstroke here. I like my fingertips on my right hand. That way I don't have as much pressure in my wrist. And then just open your chest and cactus your arm out to the side for a moment. It's going to feel weird. It's not a yoga posture. It's not something we do often. Breathe in, come on up. As we exhale, we'll thread the needle and stay for a few breaths here. I'll offer you a bind with your right arm behind your back. Just looking for that first pull of sensation on the front side of our shoulder or our chest. And noticing that this is a subtle twist. I like what Tiffany Cruikshank says about twists being like the ultimate equalizer in yoga, just a nice reset for the body, getting into all the different energy lines. Some are subtle, some are deep. They all have their function. Let's bring our right hand back underneath our shoulder. Breathe in, unthread your needle, reach up, play the piano or the flute with your fingers. Exhale, table pose, and just take a moment and notice the difference. Rarely do we ever pause, but feel in. Other side, right arm up, just to back or front stroke here. Fingertips on your left hand. We all have different ranges of motion through our shoulders. So if yours doesn't look like mine, it's bigger or smaller, it doesn't matter. Let's just work with and take care of what we've got. Cactus your top elbow now, fan through your fingers and just pause. Open your chest. This is a lot of work for your shoulder. I can feel it. Whew. Breathe in, reach up. As we exhale, just to thread the needle over to the left and take our half bind with the other arm. And again, bringing mind's eye to all points of contact on the floor, the earth, wherever you're doing it. And to feel that this earth is holding space for not just you, but all beings, animals, people, like us, unlike us. These can be isolating times. A lot of you haven't left your houses in a while, but take comfort and solace in the fact that we're all here together, whether it's in the same space and time or not, all trying to take care of ourselves and do the best during this time. Let's take our left hand down. As you breathe in, come back up. As you exhale, just to root down and to take one more pause. As you tuck your toes, lift your knees so that they come right up off of the earth. And the slowest pace yet to push back into downward facing dog. Ooh. Nice. You can widen the stance of your down dog if you need. Unattached to if your heels hit the floor or hover. If you need to bend your knees. And this is gentle yoga, so we won't do anything too crazy. But I do like this ancient ritual of the sun salutation because it does remind us how tied together we are. People have been doing sun salutations for thousands of years that we know of in some form or another. People are doing sun salutations on almost every continent today with you. And people will do them hopefully for years to come, just in gratitude for the fact that the sun came up, that this breath is possible, that they are possible. It's really that spark of joy that we need. So it's not just a warm-up exercise for your body, it's also this comforting ritual. Let's look forward and then take a forward fold of your choice. The second posture in our sun salutation. We'll go slow on this first round. So you could just take a simple forward fold with your hands on blocks or the earth or a ragdoll pose. I sometimes like just the variety of doing a simple forward fold, not having to have any bind in my arms. You can feel this potent connectability in the backside of your body. I mean, I can feel it all the way from my ankles up toward my shoulders. This interconnected tension system. From here, root into your feet, hip width distance apart, and slowly we'll just rise all the way up through to mountain. Let yourself shut down your gaze in mountain. Rock your stability from front to back. Root evenly from side to side. Breathe in. Breath out, hands to heart center. This is where we remember our intention each and every time. Breathe in, mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. And exhale, low lunge, left leg steps back. Inhale, high plank, right leg steps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in, look forward. And exhale, take as many steps as you need to get to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breath out, forward fold. Breathe in, mountain. Slight bend in the knees can be nice. Exhale, hands to heart, Samastitihi. Breathe in, mountain. Breath out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back for low lunge. Breathe in, high plank. It can be from the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just do that one more time each side. Breathe in, prepare. And exhale, top of mat folded in half. Breathe in, get long. And exhale, get low. Breathe in, a mountain. Exhale, hands to heart and gratitude. Breathe in, mountain. And breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, half. Breath out, low lunge. Left leg steps back. Spread your fingers wide. Breathe in, high plank. Breath out, downward facing dog. Last time with joy, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, mountain. Exhale, samastitihi. Breathe in, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, high plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. And just take 3 breaths here. This isn't fancy yoga, but it's meaningful yoga. And rituals, mantras, things that are in each religion and different tribes and history, they're done in a reverence, right? They're passed down. And they must be effective, or else why would we still be doing them? Take your right leg up and back, please. And then come on through for low lunge. You could take your back knee up or down for crescent. And I like crescent moon a little bit better just because I feel a little tight today. But if you're feeling as though you need more balance in your life, you can be up here. If you have blocks, or perhaps your arms are super long like mine, you could even take them to the top of your mat and push forward just a little bit more. Water-like quality from side to side here in the hips. You'll notice that nothing is separate in the body either, right? We try to talk about it like, oh, that's my psoas, or oh, that's my hamstring. They're not separate. They're all interconnected. They all communicate. Let's come into that half split now. Noticing our ability to just draw some circles with our foot, to pause in any places that feel good. And then come on forward toward low lunge. Let's take a warrior 2. I haven't done that in a while. A nice warrior 2. And let's ski in and out of our front lunge just a couple of times, lubricating those joints. There we go. Finding your power, extending, gaze fits in one spot. And we'll let ourselves get just a little heated here. You don't even have to do this with your hands, but you could do it with your hands. You could feel your buttocks. They should be on. They pull your knees out and away from the left side of your mat. Breathe in and breath out, triangle pose. Breathe. Slide on down here. Find what works for you. I like a neutral gaze here. A lot of people like to look up. I feel like that's a little funky on my neck. Notice your ability to pull in through that bottom hip crease there and pull your armpit away. Exhale, bend into your front knee. And breathe in. Let's take star. Now, I want you to be very careful with yourself. We'll exhale into Skandasana. So, Skandasana for me is pretty darn low, okay? But for a lot of people, it's not going to be down here. It might more be up like this because you've got three major joints here that are all being affected. Not to even start talking about what's going on over here, okay? So find something that works for you. I don't want you in pain. I want you in some place that feels needed. And now while I'm here, I might take hands to heart and push in with my left knee, or excuse me, my left elbow into the inside of my left knee. This is balance oriented, which is why I like it too. We're getting everything here. Awesome. On your out breath, take your hands to the floor. Breathe in, halfway lift through the top of your mat. And exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, plank, or I think I'm going to do a three-legged dog. That just sounds really nice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Let's take our left side up and exhale, low lunge into our crescent or our crescent moon now to pause. And this will be a flow. We will flow this breath to movement, which will be kind of nice at your own pace if you'd like. But for now, in these static stretches, find exactly what works for you. And it is very rare for most of us to have our mind and our body in one place at one time. If mind decides it's going to go somewhere else, you simply have it come back for a while so we can practice the cohesion, the alignment of mind with body, spirit, all those planes and koshas of the self in one line. Let's straighten to our front leg. Play with your toes, play with your ankle, finding any stiffness or resistance, and just taking a few breaths into those places. And if you notice that doing yoga is feeling really good in some regard, we don't know what the season has for us, right? But we do know that we have our home practice. All we need is a certain amount of space for our body and our commitment. We don't even need to be able to move. All we have to do is breathe at the very foundation of it to concentrate. And so notice if it makes you feel good, let's come back more often to these places. Breathe in, flex your toes. Exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, warrior two. And then pause. Let's ski in and out of our lunge a few times. Nice and slow. Make sure that you've got your stance, your power stance, and then elongate through your arms. Perfect. I'll talk you through it. I want to be able to see you guys. Your gaze is traditionally over your front middle nail. Just a very peaceful place to rest. Very powerful place as well. Breathe in. And breath out, triangle pose. We'll be here for just a beat. So if you'd like to adjust your feet a little closer together, that could be very nice. As we flow, perhaps you don't adjust your feet. We just go with that flow there. Indent through your front thigh. Extend your ribs away from your hip. And remember, if the breath ever feels cut short, haphazard, elusive, then perhaps we take a simpler variation or shape or come back to something like child's pose or a seat where we can really just get back to that basics of grounding. Breathe out. Breathe in star pose and exhale Skandasana. Now you'll remember that's that deep lunge here. And again, this side, not the other side. So if you need, you can come out. You can be up here, even press into that inner thigh to get a little bit of something, something. But our Skandasana is here if you did what I did on the other side, a push in of your left elbow, or excuse me, your right elbow to your right knee. And perhaps too, to find a little bit of movement on this free foot over here. What's happening? Breathe in. As you exhale, take your hands to the floor. Breathe in, walk to the or halfway lift. And exhale, walk your hands to the top of your mat. Breathe in, three-legged dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Sun salutation, letter B, the ritual. Breathe in, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, back knee down. Breathe in, crescent moon. And exhale, half splits. Breathe in, flex your toes back towards your face. Exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle or triangle pose. Breathe in, star. Exhale, Skandasana. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side, inhale. Exhale, low lunge, back knee down. Breathe in, crescent moon. Breath out, half splits. Breathe in, flex your toes. And exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, warrior two. Exhale, triangle. Breathe in, star. And exhale, Skandasana. Breathe in, halfway lift through center. And exhale, low lunge. Breathe in, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time with just a few changes to end. Breathe in, right leg up. Exhale, come into your low lunge. Take your back knee down. Breathe in, crescent moon. And exhale, let's take just a nice twist here in crescent moon. Pausing to breathe. Could be just a vertical twist here where your torso stays upright. Or if you'd like to bring your hands to your heart in prayer, you could do a juicier twist. This is a balance pose. I don't know if you could see it on the video for me, but my front toe's going crazy, trying to compensate for what's going on. And that's good, right? You can feel that electricity, that communication, that function in the body. What we're doing is actually doing something. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, let's come to runner's lunge. Runner's lunge does not have to be deep. It could be here. Or you're welcome to move your back knee back in space. What I'll tell a lot of people that I work with is that it's really nice on your wrist to be able to come down to your forearms, but that's not always the most accessible thing. Get a couple of couch cushions, pile them on top of each other. Start to experiment in your practice and see where you can meet yourself today. It's not where you're going to meet yourself in 2 years or maybe where you would have met yourself 10 years ago, but it's going to be special. It's going to be what you need here today. And as long as we made room for our yoga practice, why not get everything out of it that we can? Let your spine round forward just a little bit. I'll invite you to slowly creep your back knee back in. Come up to your palms. And then into table. Before we do the other side, we'll just take a heart opener, child's pose or puppy. Let's come back up and bring our hands back to our mat. Inhale into table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, back knee down. Breathe in, crescent. And exhale, let's take our twist over to the other side. I think this gentle yoga practice is pretty unifying. I do it with people in their 80s. I have people my age who do it because it's a little bit more slow and introspective. It's not quite yin or restorative, but it has that slower, gentler quality. My kids even like to do it. It's not as fast paced or hard as they put it. So it's really nice just to see and think about how many different kinds of people will watch and do the same sequence with you. Let's breathe in. Breathe out, runner's lunge. Not really going beyond 85% sensation, okay? Walk it back. See where you need to be. And then dial inward here for a moment. Ryan Holiday, in his book, Stillness is the Key, reminds us that the sun that we look at while we're doing sun salutations is the same sun that you looked at while you were a troubled child. It'll be the same sun that you see when you're old. It'll be the same sun that your children see throughout all their experiences. It's kind of awe-inspiring if you think about it, to think that the moon that we sleep under is the same moon that any of our idols slept under. Maybe even our enemies, people we don't know from so long ago, the first humans, the first animals. We think so much about ourselves from day to day, even when we try to be selfless, that sometimes it can just be a really nice relief to think about how we're part of something so much bigger than maybe the problem that we're facing right now. And now potentially that problem has also been shared and felt by so many others. Isn't that comforting? Let's slowly come back up. Table. And then we'll come into a shell stretch called embryo. A little bit opposite of what we did in our child's pose or puppy pose. To round in through the spine and breathe in between your shoulders. Perhaps even finding a slight rock from side to side of your pelvis. Let's come all the way up to sit on our knees here, not on our knees, on our shins. If this does not feel good on your legs, please do not do it. Sit up perhaps on like a bolster or something. And we'll just come back into a counter where we take our arms behind us. And it feels good for me to have my knees out, but you could also have your knees in. And as we start to cool down our practice, just coming back to the simplicity and the sweetness of breath, no matter how magical or mundane this next breath is, just being with it no matter what you judge it, sitting with it, accepting it, celebrating it merely by paying attention. Let's come all the way down onto our sits bones where we started. And if you liked to sit up on something during our first little posture, you'll want to sit up on something now. We'll come into butterfly. Sit up nice and tall, and then just buoy your weight forward as far as you need to feel that 80–85%. Sometimes something even smaller than that amount can be nice. And if you feel as though you naturally get closer to the earth, you can move your hands and prop yourself somewhere else. Seated or supine figure four. Right ankle comes on top of your left knee. Intensifying situation or sensation rather, with your breastbone up toward your shin, de-intensifying by reclining or lying back. And it sounds kind of nice to come all the way to my back right now. And so I'm going to do it. Again, tracing throughout the entire sensation of the body from the ground up. New things now in contact with the earth and its grounding qualities. Tracing through all sorts of sensations from the very noticeable to the merely discernible. And let's just let our legs twist over to the left in a mess. Maybe our hands on our belly. Following each breath with our mind's eye. Maybe to uncross your legs, bring the soles of your feet back to center. And then just find this on the other side. And I didn't mention this, I'm sorry. You could do the twist in a seat as well. So just twisting to your right. I was just enjoying the practice so much, I just forgot what to do if you guys were still in a seat. Apologies. It can also feel really nice to push out on your bent thigh. Sometimes I can feel a little something back down here. Experimentation is always welcome in your practice. A playful curiosity. Let's twist to the other side now. Anything that feels good. And if you feel as though your mind is trying to run off by itself onto the next thing, which is not here yet, you simply see it, smile, and bring it back. Our work is not yet done. We have a few more just delicious moments to rest in this peace. And if you feel like there's no peace here, just give it a chance. That's all we're asking. Just give it a chance. The more we practice something, the more we cultivate it and it appears within our lives. For Shavasana today, your towel. This is the shape that I like, the nice long rectangle. And I think I've got two folds, so 4 layers of fabric there. And as I come into my Shavasana, I just drape that right over my eyes, perhaps even patting down so there's no pockets of light coming through. If you'd like, you could wrap it around the backside of your head so it doesn't really shut out all the sound, but it kind of cocoons your ears so you can hear more of your own blood flow and heart and other sounds. Take a breath in. And exhale, Shavasana. I will see you in just a few moments. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Just feel the beat here, same beat that every other living thing feels within their chest, belly. And to know that we are so special and so sacred, and that being a part of something so much bigger than ourselves is also so special and so sacred. not losing connection with that, feeling that deep connection, even in times when we might be a little bit more to ourselves. Thank yourself for the work you've done here. Thank the practice for persisting until it got to you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me here today. Again, this practice is not just for those who can only do gentler forms of yoga. It is especially for them, but it is for everyone. So if you notice that this resonated with you on any sort of level, share it with people who need it. I've heard time and time again that people have lost contact with their practice through being at home. And once they've reestablished even just a little bit of time, a couple times a week, they feel so much better. So please share it with someone who needs it. And thank you for entrusting me with your practice.